So we're back at Tenerife here with Ouback Jack.
So this is a story of one boy's journey to becoming a fisherman. You may be wondering, how's this guy here became a fishing legend? It all started here at the Murray River on the border between Victoria and New South Wales.
You're going to have to do it. Be a man.
I did it. Oh no, it kicked, man. Oh yeah. That is how a man puts a hook on a worm.
What, I've just thrown it across the room 5 times.
Yeah, 5 times, at least once 6 times. Now, do you want to do the next one? I'll video you. Because I don't want to do that again. There.
As you can see, he didn't have a goddamn clue what he was doing. After fishing in the river for months and catching nothing, it was time to move on. He travelled all the way to South Australia. With a slight knock to his confidence, Jack was back fishing again. This time, he was at Logswell on the Eyre Peninsula, a world famous spot for catching tons of salmon. Unfortunately, much like fishing in Victoria, there was no fish to be found. After this, he headed inland and took a hiatus from the water. Jack arrived in North Queensland and heard of a great fishing spot called Lake Tenerife. It had been a year now since arriving in Australia, and he was still yet to bend the rod. Unfortunately, this here is the last photo we have of his rod Bluey, as it was named by the people who gave it to him all the way back at the start. The bait was grabbed by what we can only assume was a 50-kilogram barramundi, and the rod was pulled into the depths, never to be seen again.
Undeterred by the tragic fishing events he'd been put through, Jack tried something different. He went to the reef to speak to the fish, find out what they did like and what they didn't like. He went to the rivers to befriend the fish, hoping one day he would understand the nature of the waters. And it worked. After over 1 year of fishing in Australia, Outback Jack made his first catch, a small baitfish on a small jig setup. Now, even though he had finally caught a fish, it was nowhere near big enough, and even he needed help sometimes.
Sophie, go and catch me some bait fish now.
No worries. Be right back.
Go grab that one and go catch me some. Here she goes. Oh my god.
As you can see, people were very interested in the fishing techniques that Outback Jack was employing. Regardless of his ability, people all over the world were taking tips from Outback Jack.
Turn the spool. Turn the spool. There you go.
Oh gosh, it's a strong one. There we go.
And even with this new bait jig setup, Jack really struggled to understand what the fish really wanted from him. Outback Jack was beginning to find fame in Australia. After being papped by the Australian press, he decided to move on to the next location. He needed something to launch him into being the Beyonce of fishing. The place was called Bowen. The top of the Whitsundays, beautiful coral reef right in front of the beach. And where there is reef, there is fish.
People say fishing's boring, you don't catch anything. Well, I'll have you know, mate, come to Bowen, you'll get fish.